Most people believe wealth begins when the money finally arrives, but billionaires know something almost no one else does. It's what you protect in silence that truly builds fortune, not what you show to the world. Think about it. While most people show off cars, watches, and instant upgrades, the truly wealthy follow rules that never show up on Instagram. And maybe you're working hard, doing everything right, yet still feel like you're not getting ahead because you're playing the visible game while the elite are playing the invisible one. I've fallen into that trap too, thinking success was about external signs. But when I understood what billionaires do behind the scenes, my perspective on money changed completely. It has nothing to do with showing off. It's about strategy, protection, and decisions no one sees. And in today's video, 7 financial rules billionaires follow but never talk about publicly, I'm going to reveal exactly those rules, especially the last one, which is the most overlooked and also the most powerful of them all. Stick around until the end, because after hearing this, you'll never look at money the same way again. Rule 1. Protect invisible capital before flaunting visible capital. Before we even talk about wealth, think about this. Most people measure success by what they can show off. Cars, watches, huge houses. But the real game of the elite starts on the exact opposite side. The billionaires who truly last don't build their identity on what sparkles, but on what no one sees. And that's where the power lies, the kind almost everyone ignores. Here's the thing. When someone shows off wealth too early, it creates a false sense of security. It's like building a castle out of glass. Pretty, but fragile. Those who think like the elite understand that stability is the top priority. Before any external display, they make sure their financial core is shielded from accidents, crises, and unexpected events. This is long-term thinking, not ego. Here's a powerful insight to back that up. Morgan Housel, in the book The Psychology of Money, explains, "Wealth is what you don't see." In 2020, he analyzed behavioral patterns of investors and showed that most real wealth lies in assets that work quietly, not in flashy objects. A simple exercise: ask yourself how much of your wealth is on display and how much is protecting your future. To put this into practice, there's a basic checklist that anyone serious about money follows. First, an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months to maintain calm and clarity under pressure. Second, protection, insurance, legal agreements, and at least basic asset protection. Third, basic diversification, avoiding reliance on a single asset. Only after this is in place does visible capital stop being dangerous. Now let me show you a contrast that's worth gold. Have you ever seen someone who looked rich and then suddenly lost everything? It was usually just visual wealth. Financed car, house stretched to the limit, status with no structure. On the other hand, discreet people who live below their means move through crises effortlessly. That's no coincidence. It's method. These are silent choices that build freedom, not appearances. And the final reflection is simple. What kind of wealth are you building? The kind that impresses strangers for a few minutes, or the kind that guarantees your prosperity for decades? Invisible capital never goes viral, doesn't get comments, but it buys things visible capital can't. Security, time, emotional stability. And once you understand that, you start playing the same game the elite play, the game of true freedom. Rule 2. Time in the game, spectacular rate of return. Billionaires don't chase quarterly results. They play the decades-long game. This kind of strategic patience changes everything, because when you remove the pressure of, "I need to win fast," your mind becomes clearer, more logical, and less vulnerable to impulsive mistakes. Most people live in urgency mode, trying to force quick results. The elite, on the other hand, build with an almost irritating calm, and that's exactly why they win. There's a scientific reason for this. Morgan Housel explains in The Psychology of Money that time is the most powerful force in investing. In 2019, Data analysis from various market cycles showed that the biggest factor influencing returns wasn't asset selection, it was how long you held them. Time does the heavy lifting that anxiety doesn't allow most people to do. Funny thing? While many chase 20% in 1 year, billionaires do the opposite. They stretch the horizon to 10, 15, even 20 years. That completely changes the psychology behind decision-making. When you think in decades, small ups and downs stop mattering. Your mind stops acting like someone desperate for a quick win and starts operating like a strategist who controls the entire board. And this mindset is trainable. One simple micro habit can transform your relationship with money. Review your portfolio, always asking, does this make sense for me 10 years from now? If the decision only seems good in the short term, it's probably emotional, not rational. That filter eliminates impulses, fads, and rushed moves that seem like opportunities, but are actually disguised traps. Think about the people you've seen lose money fast. They were almost always obsessed with speeding up the process. They wanted quick returns, exposed themselves to unnecessary risk, and destroyed years of progress. In contrast, those who accumulate quietly make small, consistent, disciplined moves. They don't fight time. They make time work for them. Ultimately, this rule forces you to ask a mature question. Do you want to prove something now or build something that lasts? When you extend your time horizon, your emotions slow down. You stop comparing yourself to others, stop rushing, stop putting yourself under pressure. And the unexpected effect is that your confidence grows, your performance improves, and your decisions become smarter, exactly how the elite operate every day. Rule 3. Emotional control is worth more than financial IQ. There's a truth many people avoid admitting. Numbers don't save those who can't control their impulses. It's easy to talk about investing, charts, strategies. The hard part is staying calm when everything seems to be falling apart. Morgan Housel puts it perfectly when he says, doing well with money has little to do with how smart you are, and a lot to do with how you behave. Once you understand this, you realize that self-control is a form of wealth. Research backs this up strongly. A 2018 study from the University of Cambridge analyzed over 600 investors and found that decisions made under stress were 50% more likely to lead to losses. The conclusion? Behavior beats intellect. It doesn't matter how many financial theories you know. If your emotions are behind the wheel, you lose performance, focus, and clarity. That's where a simple, powerful tool comes in: the 24-hour pause. Before any major decision, investment, purchase, debt, stop, breathe, and let the emotion deflate. That short distance gives you clarity. People who use this technique avoid costly regrets and impulses disguised as opportunities. And the most interesting part? The more you practice it, the more your mind learns to trust your own judgment. To illustrate, picture two people facing the same scenario. One sees the market drop and sells everything in panic. The other takes a breath, observes, waits, and then calmly buys while everyone else is terrified. That difference in behavior, not intelligence, determines opposite financial outcomes. Those who give in to the heat of the moment are just trying to survive. Those who master the moment build an edge. Behavioral studies reinforce this. Emotionally regulated high performers tend to thrive more. Raphael Badziag, in his 2019 research with Billionaires, observed a pattern. Almost all had a solid morning routine that included meditation or some form of self-control ritual. Not out of mysticism, out of strategy. They reduce reactivity to increase clarity. And the truth is simple. Those who master their emotions master money. Not because they feel less, but because they notice faster. Each person should observe themselves under pressure and identify their patterns. Do you speed up? Avoid? Push forward? Emotional control doesn't make you cold. It puts you in charge. And once you're in charge, your decisions begin to build wealth consistently, predictably, and intelligently. Exactly how the elite do it. 4. Real leverage isn't debt, it's future options. Most people think leverage simply means borrowing money. That's the limited view of someone who only sees the short term. But the financial elite operates with a different concept. Leverage is about having options to wait, to invest, to shift strategies without panicking. This quiet flexibility is what separates those who grow from those who stay stuck in debt. Billionaires aren't fascinated by the idea of multiplying gains with credit. They're fascinated by the freedom to act when no one else can. A study on habit formation economic models, ARCSIV 2020, showed that the higher a person's debt level, the lower their ability to take healthy risks in the future. In other words, debt doesn't just restrict your wallet, it restricts your range of choices. Think about that for a minute. When someone's in debt, any mistake becomes a disaster. But when you have cash, calm, and room to breathe, you spot opportunities that others miss. That's why billionaires buy when everyone else is selling. It's not reckless courage, it's preparation. They keep their lives organized in a way that makes smart decisions possible, not emotional ones. To apply this day to day, use a simple tool. Assess your option capacity. Just ask yourself, if I lose my job tomorrow, my business takes a hit, or the market shifts, how many decisions can I still make? If the answer is almost none, it's not your intelligence that's at risk. It's your leverage. And without real leverage, every move becomes a survival game. Now picture two scenarios. In the first, someone lives on the edge. Every bill depends on perfection. One red flag in the market, and everything collapses. In the second, someone maintains margin, structure, and prudence. When the unexpected happens, they don't freeze. They adapt, recalibrate, and keep going. That difference doesn't come from luck. It comes from the habit of protecting options before chasing returns. The truth is clear. Financial freedom isn't about how much you earn, but about how many doors you can open when the world starts closing others. If you build your life to depend on a single perfect scenario, you're digging your own prison. But if you build for choice, you start playing in the billionaire arena, where true leverage isn't debt, it's decision-making power. Rule 5. Financial privacy builds power and reduces distraction. There's something few people understand. Too much visibility is expensive. When someone starts looking rich too soon, the world around them changes, and not always for the better. Billionaires avoid that kind of exposure because they know that too much attention invites comparison, judgment, pressure, and, most of all, distraction. Financial privacy isn't shyness. It's a survival strategy for those who want to grow in peace. A common example: people who share every achievement end up attracting expectations they never asked for. Suddenly, they have to justify purchases, explain investments, and deal with conversations full of outside opinions. That erodes focus and clarity. On the other hand, those who operate quietly maintain more control over their own pace. Without an audience, you think with more logic and less ego. Something essential for true prosperity. Now, here's the practical angle. A powerful technique is to set visibility limits. Who really needs to know how much you earn? Who needs to know where you invest? In elite circles, that list is shockingly short. By reducing how many people have access to your financial decisions, you reduce noise, opinions, and energy pulling you off your path. Privacy puts your hands back on the wheel. While many are eager to announce every upgrade, the elite do the opposite. They prefer to operate behind the scenes. No sharing the new house, the new investment, the new project, and not out of fear, out of intelligence. Oversharing creates expectations that drain energy. Quiet building allows adjustments, changes, and experimentation without interference. That's how they grow with consistency. Data supports this pattern. An article on Medium called 9 Billionaire Money Secrets showed that most of the billionaires studied had surprisingly simple habits: modest clothing, stable routines, little to no flashiness, and zero need to prove anything. These behaviors reduce mental noise and sharpen focus, something crucial for anyone making high-impact decisions daily. In the end, the question is straightforward. Is your visibility helping or hurting your growth? Privacy doesn't diminish anyone. It protects your energy for what truly matters. And when your decisions stop being a performance and return to being a strategy, you begin to operate like someone who's figured out the game. More silence, more focus, more power. True wealth grows when no one is watching. Rule 6. Multiply sources of wealth. Don't rely on just one. Most people live in a kind of financial monoculture. They depend on a single paycheck, a single client, a single asset. This creates massive fragility because one unexpected event can cause the entire structure to collapse. But those who think like the elite understand that wealth doesn't come from one source. It comes from an ecosystem. Each income stream reduces vulnerability and increases freedom. It's both emotional and strategic math. In practice, people who truly grow always identify at least 3 pillars: business, investments, and intellectual property. They may start small, but they're independent from each other. This financial independence gives you something even more valuable than money: peace of mind. Nothing pressures you, nothing suffocates you, nothing backs you into a corner. You stay in control even when the world hits turbulence. Economic science has backed this for decades. Models published in repositories like Awaken show that depending on a single source increases future risk and reduces psychological resilience. In other words, those with only one pillar live in survival mode. Those who build multiple pillars live in creation mode. That difference in mindset leads to smarter, calmer, and more profitable decisions. Here's the contrast most people don't like to admit. Many bet everything on a job or place all their wealth in a single asset because it feels simpler. But in this case, simplicity becomes a prison. The elite do the opposite. They diversify not just the type of income, but also the quality of the sources. Some grow fast, others slowly, some are stable. That mix creates balance and power. To turn this into action, imagine a simple 3x3 matrix. In one column, list your income sources. In the next, their risk level. And in the last, their scalability. When you look at your full map, it becomes clear where your weak spots are and where hidden opportunities lie. The most interesting part? New income sources can come from skills you already have but never explored. In the end, the key question is your financial life built to endure or built to rely on luck? Those who depend on one source live with tension. Those who build multiple streams live with margin. And it's in that margin that the most rational decisions, smartest investments, and fastest growth are born. Multiplying income streams isn't a luxury. It's the psychological foundation of financial freedom. Rule 7. Use money to buy freedom, not just status. Most people use money to prove something. The elite use it to free something. And that's where the brutal difference begins between those who build wealth and those who just imitate it. Every time you're about to spend, there's one question that separates the two paths. Does this give me more control over my time, or just more show? That simple question reveals whether your decision builds freedom or just appearance. Morgan Housel puts this brilliantly. Use money to gain control over your time because not having control of your time is such a powerful drag on happiness. In 2020, he analyzed patterns of well-being and found that people with control over their time were consistently happier, regardless of income level. What changes your life isn't the amount. It's the control that money buys. Think about how many people chase status symbols that, in reality, trap them. Huge houses that demand constant upkeep, expensive cars that drain money with maintenance, lifestyles that consume time and energy like invisible debts. Meanwhile, billionaires with a strategic mindset design assets that reduce obligations and increase mental space. They choose lightness, not weight. This is the most important contrast. Many people buy things that complicate life, while the elite buy things that expand freedom. Money, when used wisely, simplifies. It lets you say no, pivot when needed, and focus on what truly matters. But when used for status, it hijacks your calendar and turns you into an employee of your own lifestyle. And that's exactly what the elite avoid. To put this into practice, there's a straightforward tool. Create your financial freedom index. Just measure how much of your time today is truly yours. Not your boss's, not your debts, not social obligations. Then compare that with the amount of time you want to have. The gap between those two numbers reveals exactly where you need to invest energy, money, and strategy. That index becomes your compass. Here's the ultimate mindset shift. Wealth isn't about buying things, it's about buying margin. Margin to choose, to make mistakes, to move. The more you invest in freedom, the more your life aligns with purpose, focus, and peace. And when you live with strategic calm, you don't need status. Your rhythm alone puts you above the noise. That's the true privilege of the truly wealthy. Time.